blocking. You'll see in the course that I've referenced time blocking and other worksheets, etc. But I just wanted to specifically home in on this and get a little bit more specific on how time blocking can really help you and concentrate on tasks that are really going to bring more money into your business. Time blocking is a sort of a structured and flexible way to get things done without the constant overwhelm or endless to-do list that you feel like you've always got. Oh, I've got that done and now I'm moving on to the next thing. Instead of trying to multitask, which is actually counterproductive, or switch between different types of work, time blocking really allows you to dedicate focused chunks of time to specific tasks. So it's specifically important for people with ADHD brains that struggle with time switching and decision fatigue. Why task switching doesn't work for ADHD entrepreneurs? Our brains really don't transition smoothly from one task to another very well, especially if those tasks require different types of thinking. So, for example, writing content, jumping into sales calls, then answering emails, trying to design a graphic. So each switch demands different mental energy and it creates sort of cognitive friction, if you like. The kind of things that don't work for you is a sort of a loss of momentum. So it takes a bit of time to refocus when you switch from one task to another. It can increase procrastination because you're starting over, makes it a lot bit harder. You can make more mistakes because inattention to detail becomes scattered. Decision fatigue, constantly deciding what should I do next. So instead of bouncing between tasks, time blocking, group similar activities together, allowing for deeper focus and sort of less resistance and better productivity. How you can time block effectively for a better business schedule for you, grouping similar tasks together, so like batching. And I found this has worked really, really well for me. So for example, I realised that did the bit of the planning for reels, for example. I was able to just record them quickly in an hour, and it gave me a lot of content, weekly reels or daily reels for however many I wanted to do. I got them done in half an hour, 45 minutes, where I find if I'm jumping between one thing and another, use time to think about what I'm going to do, what content do I want. Whereas if I can think about that, I can do meditation practices, I can work from a higher self, I get inspiration, write all those things down, and I can quickly record them, and it's all done, it's all there. I'm using specific times to plan the content, get good ideas, and then just record it. That works really, really well for me. So that's just an example. That could be writing posts as well, or recording videos, or designing graphics. Another thing is obviously we have admin to do. So that might be doing invoices, doing business tasks, writing emails. It might be client work blocking, so coaching calls, so client check-ins. So can you do one morning or one afternoon a week, or two a week? Can you just have one day where you do the time blocking, so you're not switching in and out of client coaching calls and doing something completely different? It could be marketing and sales. So how do you block in time for concentrate on your marketing to get more clients into your world? Maybe doing networking, doing sales calls, that kind of thing. So by batching similar tasks, your brain's actually staying focused on those tasks, and you're in that kind of same mode, making it easier to stay focused. So you can do focus sprints instead of long blocks, which our ADHD brain just doesn't work for. Become bored, we can only focus for a certain amount of time. So you may want to think about, instead of doing 3-hour blocks, you might want to think about 50-minute deep focus work, then a 10-minute block, Or you can use a Pomodoro technique, which I have included in this course as well. It's about just figuring out exactly what works for you. This is about reviewing, thinking, right, I've tried this doesn't work as well for me. I'm going to use 15-minute blocks, 15-minute breaks, or 2-hour focus periods and half an hour break. That's exactly what you need to think about. I can't sit here and say, right, use this technique. I'm giving you examples and ideas, but you have to figure out what works for you. Maybe finding a rhythm that works best for your energy levels. So schedule transitions and sort of buffer times in. So how I would explain that is, instead of jumping from task to task, and add short breaks in between. So 5 to 10 minute reset breaks between blocks. So you might want to do stretching, walking, breathing, get some movement into your time. Sort of cool down periods after intense tasks, so you can decompress after each client call before moving to deep focus work. So this prevents sort of mental exhaustion and helps with a sort of smoother transitions between tasks. You can assign energy-based blocks for time blocks. So that means you're using your energy more effectively. So you might want to think about things like high energy times, deep work, content creation and problem solving tasks, or it might be low energy times, which might be just be admin work, emails and routine tasks. If you know you want to hit an afternoon or you have an afternoon slump, don't try to fight it. Just schedule easier tasks in during that time, because you're working with your individual energy times. Become more aware on when the best times in your day are. I used to follow all these people who say get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and get all these tasks done. That burnt me out doing that. That didn't work for me, because I need a certain amount of sleep. I work better at night. So getting up and having a better night's sleep and working later at night works for me. That might not work for you, but it's a really good way of working out when are the best times in my day for getting these things done, and you work with your body rhythm and your body clock. It's really about setting boundaries, and I've got a separate lesson on this, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about this. So that might be turning off notifications on your phone, using a timer or a calendar reminder, letting client or team know that you're unavailable at times. You might want to think about working in a distraction-free environment, or use noise-cancelling headphones. I find just another example of something that works for me is I now put headphones on and I listen to music that doesn't have words in it. I go on YouTube and I look for music that maybe is an hour to 2 hours, 3 hours. So it really works for me in terms of having no distractions, because that really works for me in terms of just listening to the music and getting a deep focus. In this lesson, you will see I have got a content schedule idea for time blocking underneath. These are just examples, and you can time block according to what works for you. So as an example of how you can schedule your day, starting at the beginning of the day, you might be the kind of person that says, right, I want to start my day at 10 o'clock in the morning. You might say, I want to start at 6 o'clock in the morning and finish at 5 o'clock at night. You might say, right, I am having certain days that I'm doing longer days, but today is going to be a 2-hour work day. A certain day is going to be a 4-hour work day. But use some of these time blocks, schedule ideas that I've got underneath this video.